Okay, we got the Unique Melody MEST. It's a quad brid. We've got the JP version, which is only released in Japan, on the left, and we've got the international version, which is available most every place else, on the right. On the left side, you can also see the packaging. I'm not going to go through that yet because people want to know some really stone cold facts before they make a purchase. So I'm talking to you potential buyers right now. I'll talk to the entire public in the next video when I do, and I use music and all of that. As you look to the left, you can see the JP version is delivered with a very standard, regular, non-spectacular cable. The special sauce is in the shell design, so it's kind of weird. I think the shell design on the JP version is fantastic. The international is very good. The cable on this is regular. The cable on this is supposed to be several $100s. The sound quality of each one, the sub bass on the international version is slightly elevated. According to the graph was done side by side or one after the other. Yesterday I did another graph of the JP version, and then I did a graph of the new international. This international version was made the day before it was sent to me because they didn't have enough in stock with them unless they sent a Chinese one that was at Shanghai, a demo set, so they decided to send me a new one. So this is brand spanking, graphed that, and the mid bass is the same. So sub bass is slightly more on this set, mid bass is the same. The mids are very similar and take the same trajectory pretty much to 1K. The elevation from 1K into the early treble is a little bit more emphasized on the JP version, as stated by Unique Melody. My ability to pick that out with my library is it's not that easy, actually. And the treble seems to extend a little bit further on the JP version, whereas the international one drops down around, I think it's 11, 12, as most sets traditionally do. The other differences with this set, let me go ahead and pick up the JP version first. This has 4 bores on the end. There's 4 drivers. It's a quad brid. It's got 4 bores. It's very beautiful. It is carbon fiber. It's very strong. It's got 2 of those, I believe, breather holes that are basically tuning ports. If this is anything like how you put drivers in boxes in car audio or home audio, this is helping to kind of final tune this set. So you've got 2 of those, and you've got 4 bores. You've got a slightly recessed 2-pin, and you've got a design that is very, very nice for fit. That's the JP version. And again, that comes with a very almost ghetto cable. No offense, but that's not really awesome. This is the international version. Let's go ahead and get that into focus. On the international version, you've got 3 bores, and you've got a titanium cap on the top. You've got extended 2-pin, another carbon fiber shell. It's quite nice. There's my lamp up on the top. There's differences in the shape, obviously. So you've got 4 bores versus 3. You've got a naked stem, and you've got a titanium cap stem. You've got extended 2-pin. You've got slightly recessed 2-pin. You've got a design that is, you can see that not bevel and see that bevel right there. If you put these together about as good as you can see that the nozzle for the JP is slightly extended. That is to say that the fit on the JP seems to be, for this user, somewhere between a custom and a universal, whereas this is definitely a universal. So that's the difference. If I were to pick these based on beauty, it would definitely be the JP. And on fit, it would be the JP. Going on sound quality, because I can get it, there's nothing wrong with this set, obviously. I would be pointing that out because I don't really care. I paid. I can say what I want. That's what this is all about. The tonality, the sound quality of these two sets is very difficult to distinguish a difference with my library, because again, I'm focusing on a kick drum. Sounds fantastic. The sub bass that's slightly emphasized on this set, listening to Tupac, listening to Kill Jill, listening to the Ghetto Boys, it does seem to me, and it could be graph scene bias, that this set, the International, does the sub bass a little bit better. But I never felt a need for it to be any better on the, so I guess that depends on your library. But whereas this has a little more, I think this would be fine. This is more. It's like money. Maybe you think that's better. In the mid frequencies, these are a wash. In the treble, this graphs to be slightly more forward with the vocals. These sets don't present a harshness, a roughness. It's very difficult to describe. I don't have anything in my collection. I just had the Odin, and I'm not shading on them, but that cost $3,000. I actually paid $2,600. I got rid of it for about the same price, but I had to pay for shipping, and I had to pay for PayPal fees, and so I ended up losing a little bit of money, and that person got a 20% offset, plus a couple of $100 extra off just because of money exchange, you know, from yen instead of dollar, etc. And this set was gotten as a content item, like for my channel, and got it, and it blew that set away. And it blows everything else I have away. Blow away, I'm sorry, let me tone that down. I think that this has a realism to its replay that the Sony IER Z1R, my flagship, doesn't possess, and they both do that. The question is on my list, do I rank these 1 and 2 because they're the same thing but different models, or do I just combine them with a notation saying, you know, one is like this and the other is like that? Do I wreck these? Fuck yeah. These are the best earphones that I've come across since I've started this hobby. These are legit kind of game changers. People talk about that. I'm not going to say end game because there is no end game, but this changes the game a little bit. My expectation for what the resolving abilities can be for earphones has been increased because of a set that I picked as a B option because the Mentor V3. I have since heard that set and think it's quite good, but this was an accidental piece of awesomeness. And as soon as I listened to it and I started then checking, why is this not being hyped? It goes to show the power of the influence of like 5 or 6 reviewers doing reviews in the same week and people getting the impression that something's really exceptional. And then something else that goes on a tour and it gets a little bit different treatment. This is better than everything that I've listened to in the past year. And I paid a lot of money for a lot of sets. And it's the hobby, the investment, it's fine. I recommend these both. I think they're both fantastic. I think the only difference is the fit for my ears is a little bit better on the JP than on this one. But this fits fine. This is very normal, and this fits almost like a custom for me. I didn't even notice this. You can watch the original video I did for this. This is the first set that I've ever used that I can recall that I took the tips that came with it. Those tips that are laying on the ground right there is the same one that came when it was shipped to me. I always change tips, and I always change to slightly larger. This fits so good that the tip that it came with, I put it in my ear and never needed to do anything else. It still has the stock tip on it. That's a very cool thing. That's a testament to how good this fits. But all about the sound quality, and some people can't, you know, import stuff from Japan. You can go ahead and take a look at the graph. They're essentially the same thing, and I think that they both share one thing in common, that they're both the better IEMs on the market right now, and they are superior to the Sony IER Z1R with my library. And I'll do a video explaining specific timestamps so that I can explain to you exactly why I think that. Put that into context, since this is all about gear that plays music. We'll talk about music, because some people wanted to see this up close, and they wanted to get some additional thoughts, because they're really thinking about making a purchase. If you buy this set, you're getting the same thing that I've been hyping for the past few days to people that I communicate with on Discord. You're getting the same thing. It's got a unique quality. It gives you all of the detail of sets that have elevated treble with none of the fatigue, harshness, roughness, just the oddity and the compromise that you make. It's got the bass on these two is, look at the bass line on that grab. This is maybe the best kick drum 4-string bass guitar, just low end playback with good treble that I probably ever heard. I don't think any set really comes close on anything, bass, mids, or treble. I think this takes all of it. And I've talked to people privately on the side, not because it's secret stuff, just because that's how it goes, that I can't believe that this got to 6 months and is where it is right now. Kind of blows my mind. So that's it for this one. 10-minute video, not a lot of detail. Sub bass is more on the international version. You can distinguish that. I guess depends on your library. If you listen to a lot of Massive Attack, you might benefit from that. My rock and roll library, it seems to be a wash. The mid bass is excellent on both of them. The mids are fucking-tastic. The treble is a little bit more slightly emphasized, as stated. It sounds fine for me. Either one, I'd call that a wash, but if you're very, very sensitive to treble, I don't think you'd have to pay attention like you might with traditional sets, because that's what's special about this. Look around. Talk to people that are enthused about this. Talk about that treble. There's something about it that's different. I haven't brought up the bone conductor because I don't know what that does, and I don't want to assign any great things to unknowns. This is not your typical set. This does not sound like something. I won't grab it with my ungloved hands. Very enthusiastic video coming, but for people that got their finger on the trigger, I'd say pull the trigger. I would have said go for the JP. It's the way life goes. You got to go through a couple extra hoops to get the good stuff, but there's not enough difference. I'd use the JP because I fell in love with it originally. The shape fits for me better, but you're not giving up any sonic benefits, and you might actually be gaining a couple by going with the international version. Full review and also comparison with the Z1R will be coming up. I'll do the full review for both of these in the same video with any notable differences, and then at the end of that I'll stick on a comparison with what used to be my favorite, which is still a fantastic set and is number 2, this IER Sony Z1R. And that's it. Thank you for your patience, and if you purchase this, you got as close to like I'm out of here for a while as you can possibly probably get. Very good stuff. Totally shocking. Unreal. Is he hyping a set? It's 6 months old. Nope. Financial incentive? Nope. Bought it myself. What's the motivation? To take a set that went on tour and is 6 months old? Shock. Shock and awe that something this good wasn't already being pumped by other people. That's the motivation. Music. We just talked about this yesterday. It's all about the music. These play music really good. And I'm out.